So people ask me all the time why I talk about only white people and I never talk about other races. Well, first, second of all, I'm white. Why would I not talk about this? 5.3 million of crimes committed by white people. We make up almost 75% of all the crimes in our country. Why would I not talk about it? We're only 59.7% of the population. We do 75% of all the crimes. Also, I'm tired of hearing black people commit 50% of the crimes and they're 13% of the population. Well, this is violent crimes alone, and we're almost double in violent crimes. Actually, we're almost 65 to 70% of all the violent crimes, and we're only 59.7% of the population. Let's look at all the crime subsets. We got assault, winning, theft, winning, counterfeiting, winning, gambling, winning, auto theft, winning. White people lead in every subset, but one, right? So with white people leading in every subset in crime except for murder, but remember when we have to keep in mind all the statistics, right? Let's go over all the statistics. So let's look at all the statistics, right? Black men are 7.5 times more likely to be wrongly accused of murder than white men. 8.5 times more likely to be wrongly accused of rape. 19 times more likely to be wrongly accused of smugs. 3.5 times more likely to be wrongly accused of sexual offenses, right? So when we're looking at arrests only and not convictions, which, by the way, according to the United States Sentencing Commission, white people lead in all convictions as well. But when we're looking at arrests, by the way, this is 2020, not even the 2019 Table 43A that Charlie Kirk and the rest of the white supremacists used. This is even more updated stats from the Department of Justice. So why would I focus on the black community when white people are doing this much of the crimes? 5.3 million. If we lower our crime stats, the entire country is a better place. So why would I talk about the black community? What's the fucking point? Why can't I just talk about the white community? What's wrong with that? I don't understand.
When they talk about welfare, they have you believe that black people is the face of welfare. Well, we have this YT welfare king receiving $2,800 a month. Now they're cutting it down to $300. Let's listen to what this MAGA welfare recipient had to say about this.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration and all this shit, whatever, tell me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids, okay? I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
A lot of these cuts, they're exposing who really receive these benefits. They can't use black people as the narrative anymore, as the face of welfare, because you see a lot of white people on this app talking about Trump cut this, right? I see more white people than black people. Then on top of that, who told this guy to have 5 kids? Who told him to have kids that he can't take care of? Welfare is temporary assistance from the government. You can't spend your entire life dependent on this governmental system that's supposed to have only supported you temporarily. Out of that $2,800 monthly that he used to receive, plus other benefits, you could tell none of that money went towards a pair of work boots. Like, what happened to lacing up your work boots and being a hard worker? You're just out here having kids that you can't take care of. Like, that is crazy.
Surprise! The racist, lying MAGA Christians are once again lying and passing around a totally fake chart about who's on food stamps, and of course it's as racist and xenophobic as a MAGA. See, they claim that this company, the Personal Finance Wizards, LLC, made this, quote, study showing which races use a SNAP the most, except this company barely exists. They have 64 followers on Facebook, and they've been around on Facebook for over a year. This right here is rage bait to get them customers for the $150 course that they want to sell you on finance literacy. There's no real registration history of this company anywhere. I've looked. There's no published research. There's no methodology for all of this. It's just a brand new website in 2025 pretending to be legit and a chart designed to make people angry at immigrants and minorities. But you know what's real? Let me tell you. The USDA. That's the actual agency that runs SNAP. And they say that the majority of recipients are white and living in small, rural, red counties. But the lying Christian MAGA don't want you to know that. Because if you realize that most SNAP dollars go to red states, you might start wondering why those same politicians keep voting to cut them. So don't fall for the fake finance wizard garbage. It's not data. It's propaganda. It's crafted to pit Americans against each other. And that's how every empire crumbles. Not from hunger, my friend, but from hate.
I challenge any of you people saying this to show me somewhere in the Bible where it says that I must be tolerant of people abusing charitable programs. I'll wait.
You know that thing going around that says a progressive will feed 100 people and don't care that one of them is scamming the system, but a conservative will not feed 100 people in the event that one person might be scamming? Do you know how I know that that's true? Because years ago, when Rick Scott was the governor of Florida, he made this whole big deal about drug testing welfare recipients. And all of the MAGA people were convinced that the whole of the welfare system was just thick with abuse and fraud, and they're all on drugs and they don't deserve it. We spent millions of dollars drug testing welfare recipients. Not only did it only find like 2 or 3 people that it kicked off, so it saved like a couple of $100 a week in welfare. It cost us millions of dollars to run this program in taxpayer money, millions of dollars to save hundreds of dollars. But the contract for that service went to a place that Rick Scott had money in. So he basically subsidized money right back into his own pocket, which he has a track record of, considering that he did the biggest Medicare fraud in the history of the program. But when you bring this up to conservatives, every time I've brought this up to a conservative, the fact that the thing they were convinced was true was not true, they didn't care about the money wasted. Every single one of them looked me right in the face and said they were fine with the fact that we wasted millions of dollars because those few people that got kicked off, they didn't deserve it. And that was the net good. It's never about fairness. It's never about saving money. It's never about responsibility. It is 100% every single time about them getting to grab someone by the back of their head and rub their noses in it because they tried to get something they didn't deserve. Republicans will burn the world down so that they can rub someone who didn't deserve it, rub their face in it.
As simple as that chart may be for the rest of us to understand, MAGA can't seem to get it through their thick red hats. And today's MAGA victim of effing around and finding out is none other than one MAGA mom and SNAP beneficiary who's going absolutely viral right now for blasting her family after they refused to lend her money for groceries. And this quickly sparked some fierce debate online, with some commenters saying that the family was being cold-blooded for denying her the food money, and others landing in the camp of, hey, you voted for this. I'm curious to hear all of what you guys think in those comments down below, which while you're there, be sure to smash like and subscribe, but I personally land a little bit along the lines of this commenter. I sympathize with them if they're struggling, but at the same time, what the fuck did you expect? Alright, let's break it down from the beginning. I don't usually get my news from BuzzFeed, but I can't lie to you, I couldn't pass this up. A Facebook post from a MAGA voter on Snap is going viral after she called out her mother-in-law for refusing to lend her grocery money because she decided to vote for Donald Trump. People had a lot to say, and many users questioned the woman's decision to vote for Donald Trump, given her use of numerous government-funded programs. For some reason, I'm in a kind mood today, and BuzzFeed and Yahoo News both decided to blur this woman's photo and name, so let's just dive into the full post of what she said online. This MAGA mom writes, I'm so anxious about this whole shutdown. My husband's veteran. I assume she means my husband's a veteran, though that is not how that is grammatically said or spelled. My husband's a veteran using his GI Bill for school, which that's affected, and we get good stamps since I'm disabled and he's in school. I'm not laughing at the disabled, I'm laughing at the fact that she can't spell. We have 2 kids. One is 2, and we're waiting to get her tested for autism. She's a picky eater. I've tried other foods, but in the end, I give up because I don't want any more screaming. My 6-month-old is starting purees. Yes, we get WIC. WIC is the food stamps benefits for women and children, but still, I don't know how we're going to pay rent, let alone our bills, and get food. I do cook everything from scratch, and I've been adding rice, beans, or noodles to stretch it out. I'm just at my wit's end, and I'm overwhelmed. Plus, we're almost out of formula. He asked his mother to buy a can until our WIC comes in. Her response was, "We voted for this." And that post apparently blew up, with people in the comments jumping in and sharing a wide range of opinions. One user, who I guess found the post on Reddit, said here they were fine when other people were going to suffer. Other users, though, sympathized with the woman, calling the mother-in-law cold-blooded for refusing to help, saying, "Cold-blooded, but I don't blame the mother-in-law."
Look, I'm going to go a step beyond have the day you voted for, bitch, and say have the job you voted for, have the meal you voted for, have the freedom you voted for. Because the problem was these people thought that they were signing the demise of the they, thems, the blacks, and whoever else they deemed to be not worthy of full citizenship and participation in the economic advancement and just the freedom to move around the country. You were signing your own death warrant, because when millions of y'all lose health care, when millions of y'all can't put food on the table, or hell, when the planet has a 50-year shorter expiration date because of this damn administration, you did this with your vote. The reality is that Trump and the Republicans put forth Project 2025. And usually when you run, you try to put forth the rosiest picture. So the best case scenario was Project 2025, was crippling the federal government, was implementing cruelty in every facet of our society. So you should have been prepared for the worst case scenario, which is what we're living in right now. The economy is fucked up. The government is shut down, and there's still chaos around the world. And we have a not king, but an autocrat, a dictator who is taking a bulldozer to the damn White House. Congratulations, MAGA. This is what you voted for. And if you didn't think this is what was going to happen, you played yourself.
I literally don't feel bad for nobody from MAGA, right? Because as we know, most of them, right, or if you are someone like me, you have experienced someone where, like you said, a lot of that just came from hate. They're voting out of hate and spite, whatever, right? But I want to tap on this clip real quick where
And why I talk about only white people.
Sorry.
I never talk about other races. First of all,
But when he gets into the spiel about this, right, and this is why this is important and why I hate, dislike Charlie Kirk with a passion, because it was all lies, right? And number one, okay, they love to deviate
of all the crimes in our country
from the facts, right? And what they'll do is, right, and this is how you can check every comment section anytime any of them talk. When they try to run to listen to this, per capita is cap. Per capita is cap. You will be misled by going by per capita. If we're talking about the total numbers,
not talk about it. We're only 59.7% of the population. We do 75% of all the crimes.
Also, I'm tired of hearing black people commit 50% of the crimes.
Right.
And 13% of the population.
Right.
Well, this is violent crimes alone. And we're almost double.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but if you go by per capita, well, it's because you're a smaller percentage, and of that percentage, you have more is more, less is less. That's it. Okay? You can't discount. I think it was like 13% of black Americans are actually it was like 13 million, right? Are on SNAP and EBT or public assistance or whatever the case may be. 76 million white people are on SNAP and EBT. But if you go by per capita, it shows like, oh, well, it's more black people. No, it's not. No. Overwhelmingly in every category besides one.
Actually, we're almost 65 to 70% of all the violent crimes, and we're only 59.7% of the population. Let's look at all the crime subsets. Assault, winning.
Yeah.
Winning.
Yeah.
Theft, winning.
Yeah.
Counterfeiting, winning.
Yeah.
Gambling, winning.
Yeah.
Auto theft, winning.
Yeah.
White people lead in every subset. Oh, but one.
You see what I'm saying? And that's only by a couple thousand. So again, you know, all of these pundits, and I would have loved to debate somebody like Charlie Kirk. I would have ran through him so fast. It's because you can't escape facts. It's easy to argue with kids that aren't experienced or versed in having discourse. It's very easy, right? But and especially when you overtalk them and you use talking points repeatedly instead of data, actual factual data, and not percentages, numbers. Numbers lie. Numbers lie. Percentages lie. Numbers lie. But numbers also tell the truth. Okay? What was the other thing there? Then you got cats like this. All right? How the hell? And first and foremost, if SNAP and EBT was a black and minority only thing, they wouldn't exist. If these programs were specifically beneficial to the black community, they wouldn't exist. They would have bombed it. If it was an actual spot or a building, they would have found a way to make sure it didn't exist in the first place. Those programs exist because the vast majority of the beneficiaries look like this. That's just the truth. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't get mad at other people for actually using the system and trying to survive. This dude wants to stay home. He wants to have more. So all of the rhetoric that they spew, he is. But I bet they don't put the title on him. He has 5 kids. He want to spend time with his kids instead of working.
I'm gonna go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
A lot of these.
He's not pulling himself up by the bootstraps. You guys should be upset about that. He got to pull himself up by them bootstraps that y'all never gave us. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, young man. He's refusing, and now he's upset because you voted. Oh my God. He voted to take away what happened to him. And I guarantee you he will be mad at a minority for that. Oh, it's because all the assistance is going to them. That's why. The immigrants that's driving a Lexus, they're taking the money and they're spending it on cars. Nobody has ever gotten rich off of welfare, bro. And if you're really around people that are on welfare, they really use it for what it's used for. I've never seen a black person abuse welfare where I'm from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can Google it and they can, you can pull something up. But I've never seen it. Motherfuckers eating ramen noodles and ramen noodles and grits for dinner like it's a gourmet meal every day. You know what I'm saying? And then also going into this segment about how, number one, this website was made in 2025 and created by someone that wanted to spew a lying narrative. And I'm glad that she checked it. People like this, we are greatly appreciative of you because you do the work and make it lighter on us. We appreciate that. But someone lives a life so trifling that they will create a website that's discriminatory and doesn't tell the truth just so it can enable others to get online and spew rhetoric about false narratives that are not true. This shit is weird. Y'all not weirded out by this shit? This shit is weird. I'm gonna make up a website just to push my false narrative online, even though I know it's not the truth. But if you actually go to the original website that I forget what he said. I think he said USDA or something like that.
Right? Black men are 7.5.
But you can find the statistics, the actual data statistics online, and you can argue them there. It makes no sense, man. What was the other thing there? Then you got, last but not least, you got dummies like this lady. Listen, man, I don't feel bad for no one in MAGA at all. I hope everything you voted to happen to other people, I hope it happens to you tenfold. I do not care. The only ones I somewhat feel bad about are kids under the age of 16. Everyone else, good luck. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I was working at the age of 13, 14. Yeah, I was working at the age of 14 under the table for a garbage company, getting up at 3:30 in the morning, had to be there at 4:15, transported over at to the site, was like 30 minutes away at 4:45, on the truck at 5 a.m. You get what I'm saying? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And now she's upset
People had a lot to say
because her family won't help her. You voted for it. It makes, oh my God. This is why education is important. This is why critical thinking skills are important. This is why it's important to hold people accountable, because I can guarantee you up until, and even now, she probably doesn't understand the consequences of her voting. For decades, Republican-minded conservative people have been voting against their better interests and haven't received or felt the consequences of that because the Democrats always take care of it. So, yeah, they can vote for a guy that will strip them of everything that they need to survive, the social benefits, everything, right? They can vote for that guy. And because I think we went like for the presidencies, we went Bush, if I'm not mistaken, okay? I'm not that old. Bush, Obama. We went Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Every time we've had a democratic presidency, we have to come out of the recession or the financial hardships that the conservative president have put us in. Most of those programs that they benefit from are democratic things. Makes no sense. Now they have to actually feel that, because one thing I can give El Stupido credit for is he's actually standing on what he said he was going to do from Project 2025. He said it. Everybody has to feel it now. We're going to be dealing with this for the next 30, 40 years, y'all. All thanks to people like her. Now she's mad because no one wants to help her. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps that you're telling everybody else to pull yourself up by. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, share. Leave your comment below. Remember, be respectful. Let's have real conversations about it. Let's not be negative. And definitely don't come over here with the racism, because your ass will be grass. I'll send you on your way. Like, comment, share. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.